Hello class, my name is Brandon St.pierre, and I propose that we ban the production of single-use plastic items. Now imagine every beach looking as perfect as it does in a postcard. Imagine a world where our disposal of products didn't harm our planet and the animals on it. Well, the time has come that we take a stand and we make the switch from single-use plastic items, such as this, to something more economical and eco-friendly, like this glass refillable water bottle. Because after all, it is our fault that the planet is in its current condition, and it's up to us and us alone to fix it. Now, I propose a law mandating the ban and production of single-use plastic items, such as plastic straws, plastic six-pack rings around your favorite beer cans, around plastic cutlery. Ban these. Water bottles, and even cigarette butts. A proposition that would hold the manufacturers responsible as well as us, the consumers. In the past 75 years, nearly 8 billion tons of plastic has been created, and less than 10% of that has been properly recycled. Meanwhile, the cigarette butts you see on the floor, on the sidewalk, and on the sand in the beaches are made up of more than 15,000 plastic particles. They do not biodegrade, meaning they will continue to contaminate the environment throughout your life, throughout the life of your children, and even the lives of your grandchildren. You heard right, folks. Nearly 8 billion tons of plastic was manufactured in the last 75 years, and half of which was produced in the last 13 years alone, according to plasticfreejuly.org. Now, plastics do not decompose. Instead, they disintegrate, causing permanent pollution. Now, when plastic is broken down over time, it's called microplastic. And when that is broken down even more, it's called nanoplastic. Now, nanoplastics are small enough to pass through your typical Kleenex that you blow your nose with. After these plastics break down into such tiny pieces, animals unknowingly eat these plastics. And it is expected that by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than there are fish, and that 99% of all birds will have ingested the plastic. And according to Forbes, for the first time in history, tiny particles of plastic have been discovered in the human bloodstream, and they cannot be removed. And did you know that the USA has the largest amount of plastic waste compared to any other country in the whole world? According to Statista, the average American produces nearly 500 pounds of plastic waste each year. And since that is the case, that means this class alone will produce over 10,000 pounds of plastic waste in this year alone, nearly doubling Europe's 250 pounds of plastic waste per person each year. But there's good news, because there is a law that's going into effect that mandates a 65% recycling rate for any plastic products produced here in the United States. Now, in 2021, there was 40 million tons of plastic disposed of, and only 15% of that was recycled, while the rest ended up in landfills and in our oceans. In an issue with one of the big, rich companies, such as Coca-Cola, who is responsible for manufacturing the most plastic waste in the US. They aren't held accountable for their actions, even though they pledged to recycle one of their own cans or bottles for each can or bottle sold. According to wastemanagementworld.com, Coca-Cola says that they're gonna make 100% of their packaging recyclable globally by 2025. And 50% of their packaging is going to be made of recycled material by 2030. Nonetheless, Coca-Cola has been the largest culprit of manufactured plastic waste in the world for the last 4 consecutive years. Now, you heard how much plastic waste is created and disposed of improperly, but let's dive into how we can try to remedy the situation as a society. Now, our Governor Newsom, he has passed a bill banning the production of single-use plastic items, and the manufacturing of new plastic products must be at least 65% recyclable. Ben Allen, who is the state senator that introduced the bill to legislation, said, and I quote, "It is time for California to lead the nation and the world in curbing this plastic crisis. Our planet cannot wait any longer." This new law also states that any entity that fails to comply will face fines of up to $50,000 per day. Now, this new law may sound pretty great, but will we be able to break our terrible and gluttonous habits that we've had for so long? California already pays $500 million a year to remove the plastic pollution from its waterways and its beaches. Somehow, plastic pollution continues to grow each year. Perhaps if the large companies were to actually pay that 50 grand, then the state could use some of that money to work harder to clean up our pollution and dispose properly of all of these plastics. Now, not all companies are crooks like Coca-Cola. In fact, Coors Brewing Company has invested $85 million into 100% recyclable packaging, and instead of keeping the six-pack rings that are killing our animals, they're going to implement something similar to this. Several other breweries are implementing new technology. Some's a little far-fetched, but they have similar looking plastic rings that are actually dissolvable in water and edible for the wildlife. Now, I feel like there's no price too large to pay in regards to keeping our planet alive and healthy. Even if all the plastic manufacturers charge more for a better version of biodegradable plastic, that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to partake in purchasing of any said plastics. Remember, you and you alone have the decision to make each and every day. You can use a refillable water bottle. You can use a canvas bag when you go grocery shopping. And if you want to buy a beer, just choose not to buy a beer that has the toxic and harmful, undegradable plastic rings and get a recyclable box, such as this. And now that you know so much about plastic and how it's polluting our earth, I hope that each and every one of you soaks in this information and makes a smart and conscious decision every day moving forward, because it's our planet. Let's not wait any longer to save it. Meanwhile, I do want to show you a few things. Here's some wood and bamboo cutlery, a bamboo straw, reusable. Here is a little pipe cleaner used to clean the straw. You can use, instead of buying, which is tempting, a bunch of water bottles, maybe a 36 pack for a few dollars at your local grocery store. You just take the time, fill up a 5-gallon jug, use that to fill this up, and you're good for the day. Whether you want your coffee, your tea, you can make some lemonade, keep it in here. The list goes on and on. You do not need to get these anymore. Just stop. Just make the decision. If every time you were to order DoorDash, for instance, and in the note say, no straw, no plastic cutlery, and you used your own, that will make a difference. All right? There's an endless amount of things that we can do to make the difference, but let's just start step at a time. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.